On a guess, lend me your ears.
It's been over 10 years since Capcom released Dragon's Dogma, a somewhat janky fantasy adventure that's rough around the edges, but has a lot of heart. While it may not have been one of their most successful titles, the passion for the game among both its developers and fans kept a loyal following, anxiously hoping for a sequel, however unlikely it might be. Then, in 2022, director Hideaki Itsuno revealed that Capcom would in fact return to the harsh world of Dragon's Dogma to fulfill their original vision. Dragon's Dogma 2 polishes some of the edges from the original without losing any of the charm.
Such a magnificent tapestry of stars.
You have my support.
Similar to the first game, your created character turns out to be the Arisen, a person marked by a dragon that eats your heart, giving you supernatural powers and authority, whether you want it or not. This discovery that you are the Arisen puts you in the midst of political maneuvering in unfamiliar circumstances that you have to unravel as you go. The two main kingdoms, Vermont and Batal, each have their own host of characters and plots that will aid or hinder you along the way, and there's a sizable number of optional storylines that further flesh out the political machinations of the characters and offer additional insight into different parts of society that help frame your purpose in this unforgiving land. The story doesn't reach the heights of its contemporaries, but there are enough interesting characters that provide an emotional connection through conversations and quest lines.
Forgive me. My absence seems to have made this rather more difficult for us. You ought leave the palace at once.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is a challenging game that goes against genre norms, but overcoming its many obstacles is enormously rewarding. It demands you immerse yourself in its world by paying attention to the subtle details of geography and character banter to discover innumerable hidden areas and quest lines. Fast travel is extremely limited, requiring rare and expensive fairy stones, which forces you to walk most of the time. You can also ride ox carts that go along main roads if they're operational, but they can be attacked mid-route, leaving you stranded and vulnerable.
Still yourself, Master. Goblins.
Quests are also handled harshly. While the main storyline is easier to track and usually happens automatically, many other quests are easily missed, since quest givers aren't overtly marked and can easily blend in with the crowd. If you're paying attention, you may notice characters that look interesting or stick out, and talking to them will sometimes lead to hidden discoveries. Objectives include deliveries, escort missions, combat targets, and infiltrating areas more stealthily, and some quests expire if you don't complete them in a set amount of time. The outcomes of many of these missions can change dramatically depending on how you go about finishing them, making it easy to get invested in each character's plight. Additionally, some quests give you very little guidance, so it's up to you to figure out how to advance. Since quests require more active participation with a constant danger beneath the surface, you end up feeling more invested as a result.
You will be rewarded handsomely for your service.
Combat is hard-hitting and dramatic. Health and stamina are the primary stats to keep aware of, as each class uses stamina for its respective abilities. All manner of dangers await adventurers when they're in the wild, from small goblins and wolves to colossal foes like ogres and cyclopses. When a massive enemy enters the battlefield, it's a sight to behold as they lay waste to their surroundings and take a considerable amount of damage to bring down. One of the highlights is climbing on large creatures' bodies to bury your blade in their flesh as your party cheers you on. As you become more powerful, engaging these behemoths becomes a little less intimidating, highlighting the rewarding character progression.
I feared we would not.
There are a handful of character classes called vocations to choose from, which significantly change the way encounters unfold. The fighter is a versatile class that can use a sword and shield, while the mage can unleash devastating spells and buff the party. The fighter can take serious punishment and parry attacks, making them ideal for close encounters, while the mage needs time to incant their spells, putting them in near constant danger with the payoff of heavy damage in spectacular fashion. Flying enemies can be troublesome, so playing as an archer has its obvious advantages. Each class feels different, making it worthwhile to switch between them from time to time. Your character has an overall level that increases basic stats, but you also level up each vocation. Leveling up a vocation unlocks stronger abilities as well as special augments that can be used with any vocation. These augments range from increased physical or magical defense to improved stamina recovery, so it's beneficial to invest in multiple vocations to apply your favorite perks to your preferred class. There are even a few additional vocations to discover, adding further depth and purpose to exploration.
Our ranks have grown, yet we pawns are men, one and all.
It's surely a coincidence. Don't make such a fuss.
Pawns return from the original game and they play an important role in your adventuring. This is a single-player game, but pawns are companion characters that can be added to your party to fight alongside you. They can be recruited from other players online, or you can use Capcom's pre-made pawns if you're not into sharing. The party consists of your own main pawn and 2 additional pawns that can be recruited at Rift Stones or just from crossing paths during your travels. You can fully outfit your main pawn and even change their vocation, allowing for a lot of flexibility and investment. Your recruited pawns don't level up while they're with you, however, forcing you to shuffle your party periodically. There are also other underlying incentives that come with using other players' pawns and letting them use your own, which provides a form of online interaction that's fairly distinct to Dragon's Dogma. Each pawn also retains their own knowledge of the world, obtained from their adventures with other players. If they've previously finished a quest or found a treasure chest, they can guide you to the general location. While pawns are limited to a few archetypes, it's nice to get new members into the party, as they each have a slightly different vibe.
Materials, eh? I shan't deny, they have their uses.
Exploration is arduous, but constantly surprising and rewarding. Venturing outside of towns is dangerous, and it takes a significant amount of time to travel to most destinations, so preparation before hitting the road is crucial. The day and night cycle makes traveling more intense, as getting caught outside after dark is extremely treacherous and unforgiving. You can rest at a campsite provided you have camping gear, but the hefty packs considerably burden your characters. If you're too heavy, you move and regain stamina more slowly, so finding a nice balance of supplies and weight is paramount to success. Since traveling to each location is an investment, pressing on to discover hidden areas is enticing but risky. Caves often house dangerous foes and valuable resources, but again, you have to be careful not to grab more than you can carry.
You're like to grow overburdened if you keep picking up every little trinket you find.
Another major deterrent to extended adventuring is health loss. Taking too much damage reduces your max health, and that portion of health can only be recovered by resting at an inn or campsite. It's a brutal but necessary mechanic, brilliantly conveying the fatigue of adventuring for too long.
What say we settle our stomachs with a few hours' sleep?
Indeed. Surely we've time for a short kip ere we continue on our merry way.
The economy deserves special praise, as gold is extremely valuable and gear is very expensive. Since each vocation uses different weapons and armor with minimal overlap, obtaining higher quality items is consistently rewarding throughout the entire game. A fair amount of money is also required for basic needs like staying in an inn or buying a home outright. Plus, certain quests require monetary investment as well. So, sometimes upgrading existing weapons and armor can be more beneficial than buying something new.
Oh, there's always demand for weapons, particularly near the border.
Visually, Dragon's Dogma 2 goes for a more grounded look with rugged terrain and weathered villages, and it impresses with wide vistas, strong lighting, and thick undergrowth. Perhaps the most important are the complex physical interactions during combat as bodies fly and the larger beasts wreak havoc on the landscape, sometimes yielding surprising results. And the giant beasts look stunning as you straddle them and unleash destruction. Light is key. As night falls or you enter a cave, you'll need a lantern to illuminate the pitch darkness, with untold dangers lurking just beyond where you can see. Even with everything going on, the performance holds up pretty well in PS5. There are no quality or performance presets, but the game has an uncapped frame rate that generally keeps to 30 frames per second, going a bit higher and lower at times, depending on the situation.
I don't like the look of this.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is a hardcore action RPG that demands patience and perseverance. It doesn't hold your hand, and figuring out how to progress can be cryptic. Combat is spectacular with a variety of classes that all feel distinct and viable, while exploration feels particularly rewarding. In a crowded genre, Dragon's Dogma 2 feels special, with old-school sensibilities that reward you for paying attention.
Send help!
Final score, 9.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching our review. We're Easy Allies. We've been writing about games for decades, and we also do podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by regular viewers just like you. Head over to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.